matchmaking doesn't really
Welcome to
jive
Mobile
well with these
Legends.
heroes, but you know what? We've seen teams do that previously. Low rating,
A lot of
high chance of winning.
A lot of it relies on mechanics,
Yeah,
execution.
of
you
the
don't
heroes
see-
itself.
You don't see that in the numbers.
Yup, we'll now check on how this composition will work, either for Team Liquid Echo or Falcons AP BREN. It's game number 2. Let's see how Team Liquid could bounce back this time around. Focus and pressure onto Few. Half HP.
Oh,
Aided by Gwen right away. That's the early poke that they can do against this Vexana. Again, once it hits level 4, you have the Eternal Guard with you, and how they can actually rotate effectively with this Edith and this Barretts.
Wow. Interesting that against Falcons AP BREN, Liquid Echo puts BennyQt in a more aggressive spot. He's not rocking his usual sustainability roster. He's actually going for a snowball. He's rocking Weakness Finder into an Assassin emblem, Assassin custom emblem, and
Yep.
then actually it's BennyQt, it's Super Marco with the custom emblem carry. So they're
Okay.
holding out. They're forcing a mid lane. No!
it's going to be JP going down for first blood.
A mid game.
And what?
A mid game engagement. And
Right.
the fact that it's Falcons AP BREN going much faster does not spell good for Team Liquid.
This is just the mindset of Falcons AP BREN to actually be utilized against Team Liquid Echo. Having the missile expert and having that knockup from the Orange Earth Shatter capitalizes more on how JP could stand vision for Team Liquid Echo. What they want to do right now is give vision for this team early on, heading to the first objective of this game. Turtle is up in 4 seconds. Now, Falcons AP BREN maintaining control of the river and heading towards this turtle. Now, Carl TZ both on level 4. They're willing to contest. But Eternal Guard being used right away early on.
Quite early Eternal Guard here, forcing Carl TZ back. This could do some damage, but not that much. The JP is in a good angle to maybe make a zone happen, but they're not forcing it. They're really respecting, trying to get as much info, and there goes Sanford, doubled up by the Daytona, and now he's gonna go down. But Carl TZ will still be the one to get the turtle. Good fight coming in from Falcon though. A lot of low HPs on the side of the Falcons, but Team Liquid PH can maybe snipe 1 or 2. Yeah, he gets it from downtown. Sanji with 1.
Masterful killer instinct by Sanji for the first 5 or 6 seconds post that team fight, which clearly Falcons AP BREN won. They were protecting the low health members that they had, and then eventually Sanji said, you know what, it's over,
Super
I can
Marco.
hit this. Gets it, 1v1!
Oh.
Yeah, the cutie there being
Pressure,
a little bit
pressure.
cheeky. Pressure coming from Carl TZ. And the force of the flicker out of Super Marco. That is huge. That's one safety factor, one safety mechanism removed from the goal later FCAP.
Earth Shatter.
Fight's coming
Super
in.
Marco. He's
Charged
low.
by Carl TZ. He's low. He's running. No minions to save him. And the missile expert gets him.
Saved by the bell. Falcons AP BREN Super Marco knew what's coming, flickered out for safety, and that's how the team Falcons AP BREN managed to reinforce right away the gold lane, or just reverse the pressure Team Liquid wanted to do.
And because of that, Super Marco now sitting at about 100, 200 gold ahead of BennyQt, and nobody died, honestly. I mean, it was Carl TZ who died, but neither Benny nor Marco went down. So that means still Super Marco is ahead. Super Marco right now is where he wants to be, and he's denying BennyQt the snowball. Check this out, the freeze in the lane. Super Marco down about half the XP to get to level 6. And this is fine. This is fine and dandy. I think, to be fair, Liquid Echo can still find an aggressive spot. And if I'm going to read the map, I think after the turtle fight, they're going to try to get one over Marco again.
Speaking of turtle fights, how Few manages to land that Eternal Guard first before everything else starts. That's a great way to get vision and also zone out right away. But prioritizing the Necklace of the Runs first, maybe right now he's just completely aiming on to decrease the healing of Team Liquid Echo, and the second turtle is up for taking.
There you go. They started up strong. Sanji again securing that turtle. Knockup is activated by Carl TZ. They're trying to get as much kills as they can, but Falcon AP BREN once more just trying to gauge out their opponent while whittling down Sanford once more.
A perfect landing of the Eternal Guard and the cursed touch. Few managing to hold the line and giving the kill right on to Flapteasy automatically a 3-0 for this Xborg.
Yep, the late entry from Flapteasy made all the difference. He did not come in late, he did not come in too early, he came in on time, and that cracks wide open the top lane. Sanji gonna try to do some damage control. I'd reckon maybe 1 or 2 more waves, and that's the top quarter wide open for Falcons AP BREN. That'll allow for a smooth lane switch.
Yeah, they're looking for a great way to paint the macro control once again. Stepping up how they wanted to gain advantage early on. This is just purely countering the pressure, even countering vision that JP can do against them. Sanji always manages to hit those Astral Recalls and Astral Echoes, probably just to suffice what JP's vision was missing against Falcons AP BREN. So right now, probably, you want to respect the power spike that the team has right now.
Yeah, folks, something to note here, 6 minutes in, the first big item pickup from both junglers is looking like a brute force breastplate. From the regular season into the playoffs, that item has seen a astronomical leap in buy frequency, especially for the best gold laners in the league, rather junglers in the league. So if you have a good chunk of gold and you're a utility jungler, pick up the brute force breastplate.
Yeah, you should revamp your item builds.
Yep, gives you everything. Gives you toughness, gives you a little extra damage, gives you move speed, cooldown reduction. What does the brute force breastplate not do?
If you're thinking about how damage would actually be deflected against Team Liquid Echo,
It even gives you resilience. I almost forgot.
15%.
At max stacks.
a complete recipe for laning for Super Marco.
Look at that. Oh, that's huge, actually. Flicker removed from view. Pretty big here. That might be a signal for Team Liquid VH to do something. They're jumping in. Once more, up in the air is everyone while comrades-in-arms takes care of that turtle, but the fight's happening here. Last Sandy activated already. Super Marco in the middle of everything. comrades-in-arms is quite low, but it's Sanford who's actually going to fall again.
The casualty
Wow.
of Team Liquid Echo. Sanford got trapped right on point from Falcons AP BREN.
That is unfortunate. Sanford sitting on a duck face KDA. And right now, this is the best bet to kill Marco!
Oh my goodness! Bandicutie so close to giving Super Mario his full death, but now it's going to be Ogwin who is up on front. He still has Primal Wrath if he wants to use it. And the Earth Shatter, the knockup just not hitting their mark. Super Marco! Almost going down, but the backup's here. Fuse dancing it around. Bandicutie! That tower is not where you want to play.
Just won't die!
He
Just won't die. He's the man who can't be killed.
The body block by Ogwin and the clapback from the responding members of Falcons AP BREN. I get it. I mean, if you're a Liquid Echo fan, if you're an Orca, you understand that this is what your team is best at collapsing, at aggressive rotations, in game go by the way, and just getting their kills, acquiring targets. Falcons AP BREN not allowing for them to play.
Interesting.
It's just so hard to even use and breathe this line of Team Liquid Echo right now. They're really trying their best to even get a mirror objective
You know what?
across the map rock hard.
I actually understood why Bandicutie tried to go for it. It's because obviously there is going to be a chance for you to go invulnerable, and then you can kind of just dive out of the turret.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's rocking killing spree, right?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
again, our shutdown on the Marco is key. Just couldn't make happen.
Oh, he got spotted.
There goes the fight. Knock up again. Flapteasy's a little late to the board, but this time Sanford's the one who gets a kill. Now they're diving it out. Sanford's on the side. Flapteasy has the flicker out. Sanji looking for targets here. Once again, misses this time.
For the first time in this series, 9 minutes into game 2, Liquid get what they want, collapsing onto bottom lane, forcing Falcons AP BREN to concede this Lord. I'll say, Liquid got a great trade there.
With the force and also pressure onto the gold lane, Bandicutie secures the objective. Team Liquid Echo slowly getting back on their feet, heading towards mid-game.
Okay, fair to say, it was an expensive trade, right? I mean,
True that.
Liquid still had some losses on their side, but eventually the conversion into the map and the conversion into that big objective allowed for them to now be in the lead, 1,000 gold ahead.
Yes,
And
this can also take the standing towers.
yeah, even Benny's ahead now by about 200, 300 gold, so that's how quickly the rubber band snaps for Liquid Echo here. And now suddenly they're putting Falcons AP BREN out of their comfort zone. How does Falcons AP BREN clap back?
And Carl TZ now slowly getting vision and zone out for Benicute to take this orange away from Falcons AP BREN. Looking forward to gain a push, and there's a Lord pushing down bottom. Now finally getting back on the macro game. Team Liquid Echo now finding a pattern to force out resources and defense out of Falcons AP BREN.
Is what we're talking about here. The pressure coming in from all sides because of the Lord take will translate to a lot of goals.
Super Marco!
This time around, Carl TZ fighting it out.
Oh!
Flicker by Super Marco.
He's
What the heck are we seeing here? Still alive, but look at this. The damage is now reduced here from the Falcons.
That was off of a light speed Baksha Unite rotation that caught Super Marco off guard. And Carl TZ, honestly, could have had his way if it wasn't for those pesky members of Falcons AP BREN, of course, that big turret.
Okay, DHS on the Super Marco still manages to escape and cheat death at the best way possible thanks to the reinforcement of his team. The positioning, how Super Marco prioritized to shut down the XP lane in possible team fights. He knows what could possibly happen if his position is currently exposed.
Falcons AP BREN are denied the activation of Flap TZ. They're also denied the activation of Few with the perfect Eternal Guard. And something tells me, oh, beautiful. Something tells me Liquid Echo have figured out the positioning of Falcons AP BREN. They're not allowing Falcons AP BREN actually come in where they're comfortable. There's always something else. There's always like a rotation from Carl TZ or a massive, massive Astral Echo from Sanji that says, you know what, let's just reset, let's just retreat. And Falcons AP BREN are not comfortable doing that.
And they have all the answers to go the macro game that Falcons AP BREN done in game number 1. You have the Astral Echo, you have a way to poke, and we have a way to check where Ogwin or where Flap TZ is coming from. Again, this is a 3-0 on the export. You have damage, yes, but one thing Team Liquid Echo is going up against is the vision game that they can do against Falcons AP BREN. They wanted to deplete mostly of their resources and force out Super Marco, but this team really knows how to defend the front line. And once they know where to pressure out Falcons AP BREN, Team Liquid Echo just completely wants to outplay everything, even out-sustain the damage. This is still a carry, though, that they need to look after.
In both of these games, it seems that Novaria are just doing so much work. I'm sure they can get these objectives once more.
Yep.
It's the dance on the Lord.
I'll be honest with you, Sanji rarely needs to hit anything but a last hit Shatter, Meteor Shatter, right? Besides that, he's just really there for the vision. These little AoEs, these little slows, sure it helps, but he's mainly there to just stop Falcon AP BREN from getting in a position, and that's a job well done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're waiting.
Doesn't
They're
need to
waiting,
get kills
JP.
happen here.
Oh.
But there you go. Everyone spotted out once more by the Astral Echo, and now everybody getting hit by the Minoan Fury. And now the dive in. The collapse coming in from Team Liquid. Super duper powerful. And they're diving in on Few. They remove the mage, and they remove a majority of the deaths here. And finally, the first death given over. Sanji inside the base. He's jacking it. Not able to get a kill on the Flap, but that's 4 members of Falcons AP BREN down for the count.
And all it took was 40, right? All it took was 40, and everything went well for Liquid Echo. They got the amazing, amazing setup with the Astral Echo. They got the collapse, and you know, the icing on the cake, the Lord knocked everyone up alongside the Minoan Fury.
Exactly.
And that's a happy setup for JP. Still was the first person to soak up all the damages from Falcons AP BREN, but with the help of the motivational roar and all the items that he has, he was a complete soak-up sponge to set everything up for Team Liquid Echo.
Real quick question, Leo. Does Astral Echo affect Lord Knockup as well?
Yep.
It does, right?
Yep. Any opposing effects that use your hitbox will be part of that. So yeah, even if they were originally clear of the Lord knockup, you'll still get knocked out because of the Astral Echo AoE.
Oh my goodness.
So it's amazing. It does not affect the healing, folks. You might say, oh, so my hitbox is bigger, so I get better heals like from afar if there's like a motivation or no. Only opposing effects.
It's just wonders. Team Liquid Echo using the advantage and timing in that objective taking. Now another turret taken down by Team Liquid Echo. Lord pushing in down bottom. Now the question is, can Falcons AP BREN defend with the tools that they have? This is still a carry with the orange. Still wants to capitalize on damage. That's a Lord knocking up. Half HP on the turret. Oh, they're looking for it to
Oh
defend
boy,
this.
coming into play here. Lord goes down, but the pressure is on. For the first time, we're seeing Falcons AP BREN really breaking a sweat here.
Oh, turret down. Defense is slowly being taken away by Team Liquid.
All right, the Falcons, the Bees, they've been put up against the corner, and for the first time in a while, we have to see them claw their way out of a losing situation. And oh wow, an off angle, full 5-man Echo.
Oh, there it is. We'll see if that's going to take an effect here. One thing's for sure, KarlTzy definitely getting knocked up here. But look at JP, he's going down. He has to back off.
Super Marco.
Marco's on the back here. JP going to get taken care of. Still cannot go too aggressive against the Falcon AP BREN. We're seeing he's still very fed.
Mind you, that was a forward flicker on Super Marco. So we're at the point where Falcons AP BREN are just happy to get whatever they can out of these engagements. And for the first time in, I'd say, maybe a minute or two, they're actually out of their base. So this is great for Liquid PH, and this is, again, okay for the Hive. This is the best that they can get away with, the best that they're working with. And so far, 16 minutes in, 6,000 gold ahead. Liquid Echo are looking at 1,000 between Marco and Benny. So that means Marco is still a threat to be reckoned with, even if he has suffered to death already.
I agree. This carry right now, having the Malefic Roar and the Wind of Nature, he is ready to commit everything. Look at the skill hit rate of the Star Shatter. Man, this is 38% win rate, but hit rate rather.
Yep.
But how, again, Sanji maximizes how to poke everyone out from Falcons AP just as that. Manages to spot everyone easily.
All right, to put it into perspective, to put it into context, folks, 38% might not look good, might not look like a big number, but consider this, more than 1 out of 3 Star Shatters actually hit.
And Leo, it also it doesn't count the ones he uses to clear the minions.
Yeah, so it's always doing something.
It's always doing something.
Sanji is always doing something for what his team has done right now. He is instrumental to every little thing that Liquid Echo is doing to win game number 2, to even the odds and give Falcons AP BREN their first loss, their first game loss in all of the playoffs.
Wow, Falcons AP BREN told Few to go back and defend. It's just 4 from the Hive and the Falcons.
Yep.
But they got spotted though.
4v5. Knock up with the Lord here.
That's insanity.
Lap with the last insanity here, getting a special heavy scan to Benny Cooley, but the knock up, the fight is actually happening around Super Marco. Flicker out by Ogwa, he's fighting, he has a grapple grab, but Lord goes down. Oh my goodness, KarlTzy gets it, and now Immortality's getting popped here non-stop for Team Liquid PH, and the chase is on.
Benny, old school Benny! Look at
Oh! Oh my goodness! Camera. Keep your eyes on the map here. Benny Cooley with shield, and he goes down. Oh my goodness, that could have been so bad.
Oh Lord.
The hit from the crystal does the work for defense for Falcons AP BREN.
All right, there were at least 2 or 3 layers
Too
of
close.
things going sideways for Liquid Echo to have missed out on 2 ways to win.
Oh my goodness.
Number 1, team fight at the Lord did not go their way. KarlTzy beat Carl to the punch and red tree the Lord at the right time. That's why there is a... I'm sorry, is that an evolved Lord?
It does seem to be.
Yep.
KarlTzy got it.
It is.
So there's an evolved Lord that was secured. Number 2, that back door was not set up well. There was a small wave, and they were not aware of where all the members of Falcons AP BREN were. Even if Ben Cutie were to survive, there were 2 members of Falcons coming in to recall anyways.
And that split could have been reinforced. Again, we saw how Few went back to base to push that wave up top. Somehow in his heart, he knew what's coming. He knew the capability of Benny and they respected the possible split that Team Liquid Echo is known for.
Which is difficult because, again, when you're going on the offense, you don't know unless you have players tracking everyone else from the opposing team. As a defender, you have the waves to check. You have those little heads in your minimap to know where the backdoor is coming from. So that would have been too little too late. It actually could have been devastating for Falcons AP BREN. We could have ended the game and not have the conversation at all.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And looking how they wanted to calculate the possible, probably they were kind of like, we need to have a contingency. Just in case, go ahead and clear. But right now, we have a reset minute for these 2 teams to actually do. They have melted the Lord, Team Liquid Echo melted the Lord, and look at the damage difference right now. Despite how tanky they can get,
Yeah.
they need to still respect the damage.
All right. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. In that Lord fight, if it was not a scattered fight, if all the members of Liquid and all the members of Falcons were in the same spot, much about like this.
Oh, Flicker!
Oh, Flicker! Shatter committed, but the counter! Astral Recall. Astral Echo is so good. But now the fight is going to be whether or not Benny Q can get a good position. He gets 2 already. And Sanford following up. They're cleaning up a lot of members here for Falcon AP BREN. Flat TZ trying to make his way out. So is it's gonna
over.
be no Virago Arbor. And that's the last minute effort here. That's the wipe. And that's the game.
The setup by JP! You hear the crowd! Team Liquid Echo, full force portals right onto the crystal, and